booties for black girl nerds.
Thank you, everyone, for your time. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. It's so good to be with you. Welcome back for season 2. Welcome, Orlando. Thank you for joining the cast. Always a fan of your work. Shinelle, I'm going to begin with you. For Jenna, at this stage, when we first met all the young people, Jace and all of the young people in the cast, they were on the cusp of teenhood and really getting a feel of what the game meant to their lives. And now they're starting the next chapter. What do you think is the biggest difference in the way Shinelle has to parent and guide him from when we met them to where they are now at this stage and going to the next level?
You're right. He's grown up. He's a male now, a man. So Jenna's falling back and she's having to trust his decisions. She's not fighting him as much because now he's coming back and he's pushing back on Jenna. So this season, she can trust Ike more. She can now focus on her booming business. And she knows that she set him in the right schools, the right area. Things are going really well. So she's optimistic at the beginning of season 2 because a lot is going on for her.
Absolutely. You know, it's hard to let go when they start to get to a certain age. So it's fun to see the dynamic of him stepping into her maturity. She's stepping back into being herself instead of just mom. And, you know, a different level. For Orlando, for you, for Dr. Emory, he brings a sort of a new type of corporate structure, in a sense, to the lives of the people we've met. How is that the biggest help for them to now have that type of a presence in guiding where they're trying to go?
You know, when I think about what makes America great, right? I think about infrastructure. One of the strange things about this country is that you can drive just about anybody's house and never hit dirt road. You're still on pavement. Well, somebody had to build that infrastructure. So I think for Emory, that's what it's about. In order for people to enter a school like Cedar Cove and find themselves going to Ivy League schools and find themselves in these corporate jobs to become CEOs and venture capitalists, if we're really doing diversity the way we talk about, you have to go through that pipeline because that's the way it's done. And that requires infrastructure. So I think that, and also that requires discipline, right? You got to want to go in the woods and build a road to this person's house. And so that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to build all these roads and pathways and rivers and estuaries by which to bring this influx of people who look like him into this community where they previously didn't belong, as it were. So I think that's his goal, that's his focus. It's a big, big job.
Somebody's got to do it.
But somebody's got to do it, and he feels like he's up to the task. So that's Dr. Emory Lawson.
And it's not always a popular job either, especially when you have to
they hate on you the most.
Yeah.
You the one they hate. Why you want to build this road? What they need a road for? They could have just drove here.
Why are you raising your voice?
Exactly. It's always that.
10 years later, it's like, thank you for that road. That road, woo! Thank you.
Exactly.
That road
Woo.
is so good. Thank you.
Exactly. So now I don't have to carry these buckets of water up to my house. Right?
And Tristan, for you, Alonzo has always been such an intriguing character for me because he has the right amount of, he's someone we know who might have lived with us and then went and got corporate and did the right things to get to the next level. But there's always a little, I don't know about Alonzo. I just don't know how did the infrastructure get to him? And, you know, when is he bringing back in? Is it even fair to say this about him at this point? Because he's done a lot for the team in season 1 and will continue to as they go on.
Oh, absolutely. I definitely think you can still say that about Alonzo. I think that the difference now is that when it comes to, you know, standing behind Jace Carson and the rest of the guys, the Swagger team, or the guys from Cedar Cove, he has skin in the game where he can go to his company and say, listen, you know, this kid has done these amount of amazing things, you know, we can really stand behind him. But if Jace didn't do those things, I think Alonzo would very quickly kind of find another young athlete to kind of stand behind, to put the company behind, and put all of his chips in that basket. I think that he deeply cares for what these kids have done, what they've been through, especially season one. But I do think that there is that other side where he has this power to kind of to maneuver however he has to maneuver to ultimately save himself. I think that he just cares enough about these guys, and they've done enough in such a great way that he's really like, you know what, like it feels a lot better, I guess, morally, to kind of stand behind them. But yeah, I do think that you always have to watch Alonzo. You know, he's always has another trick up his sleeve. He's always trying to find another way to make a maneuver, and yeah. Ugh.
Alonzo had his spin-off show. He's over.
Exactly.
Well, thank you guys for their time. They are wrapping me. I appreciate you. Congratulations on season 2. Glad to see you all back. Thank you again. Thanks, guys, for your time. I appreciate it.
Hi, good morning.
I'm very happy to see you guys back. It's been a while. You all have aged quite a bit, gotten taller, and just excited to see what the next level of the story is. Quvenzhane, I will begin with you. There's something about young people who find their path early, like you as an actress and like your character as a basketball player, and then something happens that could disrupt it. It's difficult for adults when that happens, but even more so for young people. So how would you describe Crystal now? Is she feeling secure in her path of what she wants to accomplish in her life? Or can these blips take her off the path that are going to happen during the season?
I think she's feeling more secure than she did season 1. I think she's still growing. I mean, she is just a senior in high school, so she's not done yet. But I think there is a lot more growth to happen, but there has been a lot of growth that has happened. So I think I'm very proud of her. I'm proud of us, I guess. And I just can't wait for people to see that, to really see that as this season goes on.
Isaiah, for you, for Jace, again, same thing. The path could be disrupted, but it's really making him step into his maturity probably a little faster than it would for someone normally his age. What are you most proud of with his journey this season?
I think at a young age, Jace has realized his responsibility to, lead his family and to the community, honestly. In our first maze in season 1, you see Jace kind of gaze out the window and look at his neighborhood and, kind of question, like, how am I going to be a part of this? How am I going to be a role model in this community? And that's the same thing he's taken with him in our Maze 1, in season 2, when you see him on the bus and he looks out the window. So I think he had to grow into his maturity, and season 2, he just really understands he has a cause bigger than himself and trusts himself and has a strong integrity, and that's what that's all we want people to take away.
Quvenzhane, it's been a while since season 1, and then you get back together to film season 2. What was the first day like to be all back together? Because a lot of people look a lot different from what we first met.
Actually insane, because they started filming before me because I was working on a movie before I came to set for Swagger. So they had already been going through changes throughout the show. So when I got there, I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on with all these boys? They're not boys anymore. Like,
we missed her.
Like, it was just crazy. They were just in their own world. It felt like I just stepped into a different, because the movie I was working on was like so isolated. It was a small cast. And then I just went to like gyms and basketball games and all types of stuff. So I was just mind blown by the growth and all the energy, the good vibes.
But she came in and got straight to work.
Sure did.
Straight to it. Isaiah, when I talked to Reggie earlier, it's the same kind of thing. He said he remembered going to a party with you guys and just kind of filming with his phone, you guys all having fun. And now he's kind of like just behind a wall of people and he can't see around because everybody is so much bigger than him. There's this one scene during the season where you guys are at a party and everybody's dancing. What song is actually playing in that scene versus what we are hearing watching the show? Because they clearly are not the same song. Do you guys remember
Sometimes they
what?
are.
Believe it or not,
sometimes.
believe it or not, that song was actually playing, and we just had to figure out how we were gonna get down to it. I mean, you're gonna see Jace bring out the kid and play, and we ain't seen that in a few years, but it's a house party, so it was only right. And there's most of the songs that we see on our parties, those are the ones that are really playing. I would definitely say for Maze 1 though, yes.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations to you guys. I'm glad you guys are back. I really like this show a lot, and I'm glad to see a big dun 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 from season 1 is now being brought back. So that's going to be very exciting to see it play out. Thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Reggie, for your time. I appreciate it.
Hey, what's up? What's up? Good to see you.
Good to see you too. And I'm happy to be back for season 2. Our young people have aged since we were
Yes.
first introduced to them. And with more years on Earth, more wisdom, more problems, and they're learning how to navigate those issues they're going to face. With this season, what would you call this chapter of their life? And where would you kind of gauge their maturity level at this point from the young, very young people that we first met?
Yeah, my thing is like some of it is in your question. This is like a journey to adulthood. I mean, just that urgency, the sense of urgency they feel to like figure out their life. I mean, it's fun, but it's also urgent. And they have their ups and downs all sort of, season 1, we really saw the adolescence, and season 2, we see them becoming adults before our eyes. And what was really fun in doing that is like in real life, that was happening. They're playing, the characters they're playing are the ages that they are, so they were like 17, 18, and it was really great to just sort of like hold a mirror up to their real life experiences as well.
Just looking at them on camera compared to O'Shea and the other characters, I thought, my God, because I remember doing the carpet with them,
Right.
and they were so little, and now they're so big. So
Yeah.
that first day back with them, the story naturally has progressed itself. But how did you react to seeing them after it had been a gap in time from when you wrapped the first season to beginning this one?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was just crazy, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to propel the series to senior year, because they just physically are so much bigger. And Solomon, who plays Phil, like he had a squeaky voice a bit in season 1, and now his voice is deeper than mine. So we just really had to do that. I mean, one of the things we were laughing about is there was a bit of a premiere party in season 1 when they were on the dance floor. I was able to like move around everybody over their shoulders and catch all of them dancing. And last week when we had it, it was just like these big walls of giant folks that I couldn't get around, So it's been really fun to see them evolve and grow. But it was also great to infuse that into our storytelling.
Mm-hmm. Another element that's been infused into it, I like the social media pop-ups that occur when they're facing some type of adversity, because that's real, even for athletes or even just regular kids with bullying and all the online discussions that happen among that age group. How did you want to navigate that and find the line by putting it in, but having it not overpower the story itself?
Yeah, I mean, it's like another character in the show, not a main character, but another character. I mean, I think one of the things also that I wanted to do, like a lot of sports shows, when there's a game going on, you hear the announcer saying, okay, he drove here, he did this, he did da, she did that. And I just found it like really more interesting to just do it with social media, just as if somebody's watching a game and they're on Twitter or Instagram or whatever and commentating that way. But it's also another character because it's just so much of like how young people interact right now, and it just felt if we're going to do an authentic show where you have to really show there's a real life, authentic tool that are in everyone's life.
Absolutely. Well, they are wrapping me. Thank you so much for your time. Another great season. I'm glad you guys are back, and I appreciate you talking to me.
All right, I definitely appreciate Black Girl Nerd, so thanks so much for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Better shake your booties for Black Girl Nerds. Better shake your booties for Black Girl Nerds.